Welcome to the Ecstatic Woman, and this is our season 2, and we are so excited to deepen our journey and go into the next level of conversation with Maya. Maya has been a guest on our first production, and our audience loved you. We want to get to know more. I know your life shifted drastically. You're on the other side of the world right now, and you are still in your passion, in your devotion, in your service. So it's such a pleasure to have you here and seeing you again here.
Thank
Yay.
you, Ola. Pleasure to be here, and I'm honored to be here, to be invited
Yay.
by you again.
Yes, yeah. Again, I think last time we did interview, you were in Florida, right?
Correct, yeah.
You were in US, and now you're in Abu Dhabi, and today I'm in Brazil. So we are hugging, we are hugging the world from completely different geographical points, right? And it's so nice to
Yes.
bring those codes and those medicines into this conversation and into this temple space. So thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure.
Yes. For somebody who is just seeing you for the first time, so maybe some people were part of the Ecstatic Woman series one, but some people are new. They're either coming from Ecstatic Union or they're coming from Ecstatic Wealth or just finding the summit from another portals. Can you share a little bit about yourself, the work you do in your purpose, and just what brought and inspired you to be in that medicine for the collective?
Sure, yes. So professionally, I'm an ex-environmental consultant or professional wetland scientist, and I've been in that work and permitting consulting for over 15 years, like close to 20, if you include part-time work. So I since have left that corporate environment, and I now that I started to focus on connecting personal connection from a person to our natural world. I thought that's what was missing in my work as a whole, in how in our society, how we relate to Mother Earth, how we view her natural resources, how we use them. The fact that reciprocity was missing, even in my work, although I had very conscientious clients, I have to say. They were very much by the book. They didn't want to skip any corners. All the environmental regulations was up to par. I worked with a lot of energy companies around throughout United States. So what drove me was this missing link. I thought this connection, this link is missing from just every person that I work with. What is their relationship to Mother Earth? So this is where I was passionate enough to ignite that, to focus the light on that connection. And this is all my work, since then. In my personal work, that I do similar summits like you. I do the group work, the personal coaching, the divination work. It's all circled and very much around this theme of finding our personal connection to our planet.
And it's so beautiful. And thank you so much for bringing this into the conversation about ecstatic woman, because that's such a powerful piece in conversation, in connection to feminine embodiment and being in that state of ecstatic, wild nature, raw, connected, right? So yeah, I love this. Yeah, I love this journey. And when we talk about ecstatic union and in this conversation specifically, how do you see, this ecstatic woman? What makes woman ecstatic? What is your experience of ecstatic woman?
Well, we can first we can know, I guess, definition wise, what is an ecstatic woman, and it's this intense feeling of joy and delight and being connected. It's basically being connected to life, and it's being open to life's flow. That's, for me, is an ecstatic woman. It looks how many billion people are on Earth. Like, let's say a little more than half are women. Let's say, I don't know, let's say 5 billion are women. That plus, because we all change, as you know, and we all go through different stages, and what was true yesterday is a little different today. So there's a infinite number of ways to really feel ecstatic and be connected to life. And it doesn't all have to be like rose petals and, gold dust.
Yes, 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 yes. It can be, and it doesn't have to be. Yeah.
Yeah, it can be, and it doesn't have to be. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with you if you're not feeling like that in the moment. God knows there are so many times that it was just raw, real, and sometimes
Yeah.
dark, to be honest. And especially now, I guess most of us are aware we're going through some astrological events, some eclipse
Yeah.
portals at the moment. So if it's fine if it doesn't feel like that, and depends where you are in life. Like, I'll be completely honest. I'm 45 years old, and so menopause is not so far away as it once
Yeah.
was. And things are changing. Yeah, like the hormones are changing, and there's some, I went through some shifts hormonally where things were just like, oh my God, like I finally was like, oh, maybe that's what people are talking about when they're quote unquote depressed. I didn't even know what it was. So I went through a very, very self-exploratory, almost like deep kind of like dark blue period, which is fine. It's lovely because I came out on the other side of it, but now I'm all the wiser. And yes, in the midst of it all, I was still practicing like dancing and connecting to, the divine feminine and all of that. So it could look any sort of
Yeah.
ways.
Yeah, yeah, and I love how you bring it in. We had few speakers also touching upon, the dark feminine, and those parts that we judge ourselves, right? I don't feel ecstatic. I don't feel excited. I don't feel like life force is percolating with radiance and joy today. All I want to do is scroll in the ball and cry, and just
Right.
being there with yourself and seeing the wholeness and medicine of those portals as well for yourself.
Sure. And the
Mm-hmm.
other thing too, like I think I've learned also how to quote unquote lead myself out of them, how
Mm-hmm.
not to get stuck. It's important to explore, but I've also learned in the end, like, oh well, crying is fine and laying in the corner is also fine, but I also know like, oh wait, my body actually likes to move and it
Mm-hmm.
needs it. It's a
Yeah.
necessary physical component that my body requires. And
Mm-hmm.
even though I might feel like it at the moment, this is what I am privileged to give to it, to give
Yeah.
myself.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
a lot of layers to expose and discover for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, and even normalizing it, bringing it into the spotlight and having this conversation where we have a little bit more permission, to accept and love ourselves in those moments. And that's so important for us. And I know you are a mom and you're moving around and you're traveling and you're following different pockets of your personal soul journey. So it's definitely a shape shifting path, even since we had this conversation last year.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes.
I know you're in Abu Dhabi now. So how, in the conversation about ecstatic woman, how has been your experience? In America, and I lived in Los Angeles, I lived in New York, which are pretty open, in expressing our ecstasy, in being half naked. I live in Tulum now. We rarely wear anything outside of bikini. So I'm curious, how's your experience of, and I know you teach women uh, ecstatic embodiment as well and sisterhood circles. It's like, what is your experience of bringing this expression into places where the cultural belief is a little bit different about that?
Well, Abu Dhabi is a big topic, as you
Yes.
know. Interesting enough, I'll share something of what I went through, and you all know about this very well. Like, but how it even came to my life, because I was on the plane flying over from Turkey into Jordan. So the Jordan, the Middle East, right,
Mm-hmm.
area. And I was looking out of the plane, and I had this, it's like I knew, I was, by the way, like no substances, nothing, zero. Like water, not even alcohol on the plane, nothing. and it's not the first time it happens. Basically, I would say like the spirit, the divine, the Mother Earth is calling me to this place. And I'm looking down and there's like nothing but desert. And I'm like, why? What is there? What, are you serious? It's almost like I'm saying, are you joking? And and still like the feeling is there. I know the call is there. I recognize it very clearly. And I say, okay, I give my consent. I said yes. So I land in Jordan. All of a sudden, circumstances, not 2 or 3 days go by in my life where all of a sudden my husband tells me, oh my God, my mom is ailing, because we went to see his family. My mom is ailing, she needs help, and then my younger sister, she's taking care of her, she's too tired. I'm gonna explore options to move to Abu Dhabi, this and that. So we raised all that question, and I was just like, I was in shock. I was like, in my mind, I'm talking to him, I'm like freaking out. But my mom's like, oh my God, like I said yes. I meant like 10 years from now. You're calling me now. So if I did say yes to her, and it was so long in my life where, to be frank, like my ego was really just revolting, like
Yeah.
rebelling. And so just how life responds and how she shapes. And it's really like, I noticed how there are times where I'm not open to life's flow. And this is how she works.
Yes.
If you know yourself, Ola, how
Yeah.
much struggle and rebelled against this move, and fear. Oh my God, all the fear in the world was in me. What if this and what if that, and all these hypothetical scenarios. And I went to visit here last year. Oh boy, I did not like. I noticed all the things that were wrong with this place, and all the things why I shouldn't be there, and why people shouldn't do this, and all my judgment came online.
Yes.
But anyway, when we finally open up to life's flow and stop fighting so much in the current and flapping around and actually take a breath and be like, where did she invite me to go? What is she trying to show me? Also have like patience for yourself, and not like, because the judgment I have is not just for
Yeah.
others, it's first and foremost for me. Why am I not why am I so rebellious? Why am I not happy? Why? Just so finally, last year was a different year where I went back and forth to Abu Dhabi and home. I missed my husband, and so finally we have reunited, this year. I'm talking about 2023, the school year. I'm a mother, so I'm functioning in school years.
Okay.
Not 2 years, right? So since I've come here, I was able to just open up to life's flow in a way like where I have respect for the culture. And yes, like what you're saying is true, that you can rarely wear any clothes in Tulum and it's just fine. And it's beautiful, I'm sure, but I've also found beauty in more modest, clothing, and really like true beauty, because I love the abayas, that this is the traditional women's dress, that they wear here, all different colors. I mean, black is preferred. Black doesn't look great on me, so I have different colors of abayas. I'll show you what I'm wearing now, since
Yes.
it's not an
I
abaya, but this
love
is a
it.
traditional Jordanian dress.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
It's pretty long,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
It's very covered, and guess what? I feel rather feminine in it,
Mm-hmm.
and rather beautiful and ecstatic, like for myself,
Yes.
So there's so much that Abu Dhabi holds, and
Yes.
for women that we judge right away with our Western, eyes, saying, oh, this, all that. They have hair salons and all these salons and ways to pamper yourself on very high level, just for women, just to make them comfortable. The building I'm in, when I go upstairs in the gym, they have hours just for women, no matter during those hours. So if you would like to be, relaxed and just be by yourself, go. And then again, Abu Dhabi, do I cover my hair? No. Can I? Yeah. I can even cover my face if I want to. And this is what I'm exploring now.
Yeah.
It's interesting though. I don't have a niqab or whatever. But I was thinking, I was like, you know what? I should just try it out. Like I have a desire in me to try out, to just walk in the street with this. And it's kind of fun. You just like seeing everybody, but nobody knows what you look like.
I love
Just this
Yes,
exploration, and it's
exploration. Yeah.
different than, and finally that I'm not saying I don't have any judgment. I'm just able to suspend my judgment little by
Yes.
little. And what life offers me instead, is just beautiful.
I love it. And I love the piece where you were describing your inner process of seeing the ego, seeing the resistance, seeing the fear, hearing all of those voices, and still leaning into the knowing that your path is calling you to receive something with that flow, with that surrender, with that saying yes. When you said yes, I gave my consent, right? With that saying yes. So earth and life can give you those gifts that she wants you to experience in this lifetime.
Right. And I have to say, there are moments that here I still get like impatient, because we always want manna to fall down from heaven and immediate things. So sometimes like, I'm
Yes.
here. I want to see why I'm here. I want to know that. Show me. But
Yeah.
I just tell myself, just relax,
Yeah.
breathe. I'm
Yes.
here. She is showing me day by
Yeah.
day,
Yeah.
it's okay. It doesn't have to be a voice from heaven in my ear every day,
Yes. Yeah.
It would actually be rather annoying if it did.
Yeah. It's little glimpses. Yeah. And then just paying attention to those glimpses.
Right. You follow the breadcrumbs,
Yeah.
or it's for me.
And I also love, when you say just relax and see, it doesn't have to be immediate, and it doesn't have to be like a pile, right, falling on you. I
Right.
love I love that invitation. It almost feels like energetically you're inviting into subtlety, right? It's like being present with the subtleties, not just the big energy or big shift, but subtlety, presence, slowness, and that's so connected to the feminine
Yeah.
embodiment.
And exactly, and that's still something that needs to be rather developed in me. Like really, I'm
Yeah.
still in that. I'm still, this. I I have the tendency, to be like maybe a bit militaristic, but like when, how, huh,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
then like, oh, just relax. What? Like,
Mm-hmm.
why am I rushing myself or rushing everybody around and just breathe? And besides, I have to say the one thing, nature-wise in Abu Dhabi, oh my God, the desert. It just, oh my God, it just takes my breath away every time. Like when you actually travel into the desert,
Mm-hmm.
just to see the winds on the barhane, how do you translate? On the sand
Mountains.
dunes,
Yeah.
on the
Yes.
sand
Yeah.
dunes, how it moves, how the wind and the earth just like brushes it, and it's all like waves. It's like the ocean, really. It's like the ocean of sand. It looks
Mm-hmm.
exactly like the bottom. If you dive in and look in the ocean floor, this is exactly what the desert looks like here. And you can
Mm-hmm.
see, I have amazing, beautiful videos. And every time I get out, and it doesn't matter what the weather is, it's just, I have such a huge expanse after it.
Mm-hmm.
I come
Mm-hmm.
back. It's
Yeah.
just so big. It makes you so big. So if anything else, aside that alone is an enormous gift.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know a few sisters that are called into going in desert and working with the desert. So
Yes,
there's definitely medicine and magic that is only available in those places. Yeah.
absolutely. And the to me, like I even have goosebumps talking about it. It is such an utterly feminine experience. Well, of course, I'm experiencing it as a woman, so I don't have another experience to offer, but it just feels like such an opening and such a feminine experience, like just the desert, the
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
wind expands, and how she is, and how she behaves, and how she's completely sovereign by herself, and just stubborn by herself, but of course in the marriage with the wind and the
Mm-hmm.
sky, and how all these forces like just work together and inseparable, really. It's There's a lot of magic and beauty, yes.
Beautiful. And I know you are very passionate about helping women connect with Mother Earth, with all of her expressions. You know, desert is one of them. If anyone wants to start opening to that journey, to building a connection, like how would you suggest them to even start having that conversation, start noticing, start being able to relate to the elements? Because I know you support women in that, and I also know that you are devoted to protecting Mother Earth, to sustaining Mother Earth, and to making sure we are taking her into account when we operate as human beings.
Sure, yeah. So there's, like, as I said, there's so many ways. There's a ton of ways, but something simple and something that everyone can do is just, it starts with presence of mind, presence of thought. Let's say, just an ordinary day, we wake up, let's look outside. If you have that option, you can walk outside probably, and just be like, oh my God, you can say like, good morning, our lovely planet. Good morning, the sun. Good morning, the wind and the earth and
Mm-hmm.
all that she has offer. I mean, we are inside of her body at all times. It's almost like you can say that we're inside her womb even now,
Mm-hmm.
everything's, we're nourished so much. And not only nourished, and I'm saying we're inside the womb because we're also protected. The more I see of these and learn about the, astrology, not astrology, it's really more about the stars and how much the electromagnetism, how she encases us and protects us from the solar wind and the solar fluxes. We are so protected here. And now, and we're flying through space. And not only that, I also learned that even the sun protects us from even more cosmic radiation. So we
Mm.
have levels of protection from our celestial neighbors and Mother Earth herself. So us knowing that and being aware of that, and constantly like feeding this connection, whether you go outside with like what's inside your mind, like she's everywhere. Like you take a shower, this is her water. This
Yes.
is her
Mm-hmm.
water. And again, the water is, she's
Mm-hmm.
recycling that same water over and over and over and over. Taking a shower, wonderful. Take as long as you like, but also turn it off and don't take forever. Just little things like this. Are
Yes.
we, it's the basics. Reduce, reuse, recycle. It's almost like I feel
Mm.
a little silly saying these things, but they're true. We reduce the waste. And here, there's a lot of opportunity for this here in Abu Dhabi,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because I don't see the recycling program in place here as
Mm-hmm.
widespread as in the United States. So there's room
Mm-hmm.
for improvement. So yeah, reduce your waste. Yeah, I'm surrounded by many people, from different countries. You know how international this
Yes. Yeah.
community is, and and everyone's on different levels, emotionally, socioeconomically. So, but if I know to bring the bag, and somebody looks at me and they're like, this lady's crazy, who cares? I am beholden to my planet. I don't care what they think. Not only that, it's my duty to teach them if they give me an opportunity. Bring the bag, you know. Uh, it comes with our everyday, living, how we live, how we relate to her, what do we
Mm-hmm.
give, you know. You want to give a donation, plant a tree, like
Mm-hmm.
there's so many people I know who I work with. My mentor, or one of my mentors, Alan Shui, he worked with NASA, identifying
Mm.
one of the leading botanists in United States, including Florida. Florida is extremely diverse. I'll just put it out there. Botanically diverse. So if somebody's an expert in Florida, they're an expert all over the state and maybe even the world. So he goes out and he's planting in the local parks. He has an agreement with the local parks. They let him plant and supplement the vegetation. And he's doing that out of the goodness of his heart. So there's so many ways. There's organizations you can go and pick up the, the trash on the beach. And I mean,
Yes.
everywhere. The opportunities are everywhere. And not only that, like the work of the Heart Math Institute, right? I'll just say like
Yeah.
what our hearts, when we are connected, to ourselves and others, it doesn't just mean calm, just connected and conscious. Our hearts beat with the same resonance that's in the earth magnetic field. So not
Yes.
only that you can influence each other when your heart is open and coherent is the phrase that they use, card coherence, that obviously you can receive information from one to another, so we can receive messages from our Mother Earth. And also I do believe that we're able to share something of ourselves with her. So it's not just through our actions, it's through our breath. It's through the very way our heartbeat beats. This is how
Yeah.
much we're connected to her.
Yeah.
We're really inside the womb. Like I just see this over and over. I can't get it out of my,
Yeah, it's beautiful. And just being aware of that connection and being,
yeah,
when you speak,
presence.
yeah, presence, yeah, present. And it can be a practice, but it feels like you're inviting into more awareness, right? And just like saying hello to the elements, making
Yeah,
sure
this
you
is how
have
we
that second.
begin.
Mm-hmm.
Like how to connect, how to begin, but as you know, and as you say, absolutely, there's the you can dedicate, not just a whole, days and times, and maybe you can share about your recent, journey.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that's very deeply, connected and embodied. I'm sure you
Mm-hmm.
felt deeply and connected
Yeah.
to the planet.
Yeah. Yeah, and like with what you are saying, and I also love even when I was in Abu Dhabi, and I'm in Egypt. I just came back from Egypt, and I'm in Brazil now, and I was in Mexico before. It's like when I land from the airplane, the first thing that I always do, I put my hands on the land and I say thank you for having me, and I dedicate an invocation or a prayer to connect with that land specifically, and all of the lineages and all of the ancestors that developed this land, love this land, sweat, tears, and all of the prayers that went into that land. So yeah,
That's
same. It's
beautiful.
just like it's intentionality. It's not necessarily like a thing to do on your to-do list, but just being aware and having that space and time. Just, it takes 1 minute to put hands on the land when you are landing in the new land. How can I
Right.
serve you? How can I serve you? Like, what can I do for you? How can I support you? What do you want from me today? Just those
Yeah,
questions and listening and listening and listening.
absolutely. It's true. Absolutely true. You don't even everything like it so makes sense. Like even if you don't, even if you're in the airport and you don't put your hands on the floor, just flying in, you're in the plane,
Yes.
you're entering new space and location, a very
Mm-hmm.
specific geographic location that you have, that summoned you and you have summoned it. So yes, like I have a similar practice where I just open up and I say, I'm sorry to all, like you said, all the lineages, because
Mm-hmm.
people who have lived there before, and I'm sorry that I don't know all the, the ways to venerate the proper way this location and this Mother Earth, but I come here with love and I'm open.
Mm-hmm.
And if it depends on the level. Do you want to receive guidance? I can say I'm open to your
Yes.
guidance. All of these things. You say thank you, and it doesn't just come to from people. Like when I'm talking about the ancestors, absolutely ancestors, all the plants and animals, and even the even the the inanimate, quote unquote, realms of the earth. They're all our
Yes.
ancestors because they were here before us. And not
Mm-hmm.
only that, if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here. So by that way, I mean ancestors. They are
Mm-hmm.
my direct, all of our ancestors. This is my firm belief.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
exactly.
can connect, and you can, like you said, you can put the hands on the ground. You can go further. You're on the beach, lay down, connect like literally heart to heart with the earth, with the sand, with wherever you are, with the forest. And you can whisper your desires and your fears, whatever, right to her. Like, she listens.
Yes. Yes, she listens all the time. Yeah. Beautiful. And I know about your also one of the portals of your journey, and it's connected to the gift that you have for our audience. That is a little bit in a different culture and a little bit in a different pocket and portal of the medicine that comes from more indigenous natural culture. So can you share a little bit about that offering that you have?
Yes, I would love to. So I have undergone a full year of apprenticeship with an initiated and sanctioned African elder. He's maybe some of you heard of him. His name is Malidoma Patrice May. He has written quite a few books on the subject of the philosophy of his native people, of the Dagara tradition. He's from Burkina Faso. So I am a certified cowrie shell diviner. And what I'm offering is a chance to for someone to win a free divination. And it's through the Dagara tribe that I will be consulting the elemental ancestors, which is the earth, fire, mineral, water, and nature. This is how the Dagara tradition views the earth. And I will show the same cloth I showed you earlier. So basically this is the claw. We have 5 different realms. See,
I love it.
I
Yeah.
haven't mentioned. Yeah.
It's so
Anyway, I'm trying to
beautiful.
get it right.
Yes.
Yeah, and you just spread the cowrie shells,
Yes.
the stones and bones, and you see if the ancestors have any suggestions, lessons, and you
Yes.
just use the 5 elements from their tradition to hear the voice of the Divine's ancestors. So this is what I'm offering. This is also a way, of course, to connect not only to the land and to our ancestors, both human and non-human.
Yeah, beautiful. I just got mine done in Brazil. Like, yeah, we had a queen that was throwing the shells and then listening to the shells and getting the guidance. And it was powerful and it was magical. So I know the medicine of it. And whoever is winning this is very lucky and fortunate to receive all of the blessings of that tradition and the land specifically. Yeah,
Wonderful. Yeah.
awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being here. We're gonna update the link for this new gift that you're offering, and it's such an amazing opportunity for somebody to be in your space, but also to receive this gorgeous piece of art and your reading. So, yeah, thank you so much for being here. Always pleasure to have you, and yes, love you, and see you soon.
Thank you, Ola. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you for what you're doing, for your drive and passion to, to constantly bring that in over and over and open it up to more and more women. And yes, so I'm grateful for your work altogether.
Yeah. Yes, thank you.